what we're going to visit with right now and kind of get you up to speed, President Trump is trying to lift a ban that was put in place by Yo Mama Obama on import of elephant trophies, let's say, to include a lot of skin and body parts, primarily
Tusks.
Excuse me?
Tusks.
Tuscuses. Yes, ivory. The hunting groups argue that the revenue from legal hunting in Zimbabwe and Zambia is actually one of the only ways that conservation efforts are funded. And the conservationists, and this is where I, along with Zimbabwe Joe over here, have a problem. They're not conservationists. They're just basically pains in the ass that don't get it. You want to expand on that?
Yeah, what's the deal?
Well, we just started in Zimbabwe. It's a country I know better than the rest of them. But
and you've been there, what, 11 times?
Well, Zimbabwe 9 times.
No, okay, close enough.
Yeah. Years ago, they determined with the habitat that the country had, that country was suitable to have a healthy herd of 40 to 45,000 animals.
Elephants.
Elephants.
Okay. That's a lot of elephants, John.
Yeah.
Well, except right now they're pushing 100,000 elephants. So you could imagine
what do you do with an extra 60,000 elephants, Joe?
Well, here's what's been happening. There's two things that are really taking place over there. The poaching is totally out of control. And even sometimes worse than that is the government cull teams that go in to try to eliminate some of these elephants. And this was under the rule of Mugabe, who just got ousted. But he would go out with government cull teams and take on a herd of 25, 30 animals, and they kill every one of them. And the only thing they take is the ivory.
So this isn't selective reduction, it's group eradication.
Yes.
Okay.
Supposedly they can't leave a live elephant. They're intelligent enough to where they would become...
Yeah, they do have a tendency to get a little pissy.
Yes, they would become human killers every time. So they take the whole herd out.
So wait a minute, let's go through that, because I think that's pretty important. So if an elephant sees a human killing another elephant, it logs in.
It does.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So they take out the whole herd.
Yeah, this has been well documented even on...
HBO?
There's been quite a bit of stuff on National Geo, and you have to go back to the Koch brothers. They put a lot of stuff out there with some twists on it, but the stuff I've looked at has been pretty straightforward on the intellectual abilities and emotional abilities
Of elephants.
of the elephants. Yeah.
Well, culling has always been a part.
So in other words, when you go back, they have a discussion that Joey's back in town.
Hopefully not.
Especially the baboon clan.
Because I've actually... But yeah, with 60,000 too many elephants, I mean, culling has always been a part of Africa. When you get an imbalance, the government would take care of it. But now through pressures and everything else, and what Mugabe did, he didn't care about... He wanted the numbers high because he'd wipe these herds out, and he would chop out the ivory, sell it to the Chinese, keep his army strong with brand new AK-47s or whatever else they needed. So for him, it was just a cash pot.
Well, that's one of the only industries that they have there to generate.
That's their natural resource.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Arabs have oil. We have trees and other things, and they have elephants.
Well, they have
had.
Well, no, they still do. I mean, they're still pushing probably right around 100,000 elephants. Now, I did read where they said, some anti-hunting group said, there was a 6% loss in Zimbabwe in the last 2 years. Well, let's see.
Reproduction takes over anyhow, doesn't it?
That would still leave 54,000 over what they thought would be sufficient numbers to have a healthy herd. So what do you do with all these animals? They're eating themselves out of house and home.
Yep.
Now, there's other countries like Tanzania where their poaching problems are so bad that they have decimated their herds there. Zimbabwe's not one of them. I mean, it is filled with elephants right now. And they travel quite a bit. And so to find water, to find feed. And I have personally witnessed when they're overpopulated, the devastation they could do. And that was in Chobe National Park in Botswana. Unfortunately, they'll knock a mapani tree down and they'll eat maybe 10% of the leaves on that tree. Instead of finishing it, they go and they knock down another one and another one. And just driving through that park, it was amazing. The last day we were there, we finished up our hunt a day early. We spent one full day reclaiming the main road for about a 7-8 mile stretch. That's how many trees were down there. Were roads everywhere. So the professional hunter and a friend of mine and myself, we cleared the logs cleared the trees out of the road all the way back to their camp.
Wow.
And that took all day long to do. So, and that's just the trees next to the road. So you can imagine the devastation that goes on. They were talking about it way back then. This was...
at that time, what was their overpopulation estimate?
That I don't know. This was 1987.
Okay.
But the professional hunter said, look at this. He said, it's just, look at this devastation. He said, and they will not allow hunting in here. So what's going to happen? A government call team's going to come in and wipe out large numbers of elephants. And what the antis are trying to do is group the hunters in with the poachers and the call teams, the government call teams. And that's not the case at all. I mean, it's not even remotely close to that. So, but they're trying to group us in all at once to eliminate hunting. And if they would have hunted these animals, if they would have had a president in there other than Mugabe that could actually run a country, they would have been hunting these animals and making huge money off of it. There's plenty of people willing to do it. And people say, why would you want an elephant? And initially, that was my thought many years ago. After talking to the professional hunters, that is the most challenging hunt that Africa has to offer. The amount of walking that you do, it's unbelievable.
Really?
Yes. And it was Barry Duckworth, who is now that's a true conservationist,
yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
In fact, many people considered him the finest conservationist in Africa. He said elephant hunting was his favorite hunt, period. So people would have to actually experience it or see it or be around it to know.